Taking a whiff of the dishes, the elder clamped his mouth shut when he found the food to be so stinky and putrid. He rose and bowed with hands folded, saying, "Lady Bodhisattvas, this humble cleric has kept a vegetarian diet since his birth." "Elder," replied one of the girls, laughing, "these are vegetarian dishes." "Amitabha," cried the elder, "if I, a priest, partake of such vegetarian dishes, I won't ever get to see the world-honored one or acquire the scriptures." "Elder," said the girl, "you are someone who has left the home. You should never be choosy with your patrons." "Would I dare? Would I dare?" said the elder. "Since this priest received the decree of the Great Tang to go west, he has not destroyed even the tiniest creature, and he has tried to relieve suffering wherever he sees it. I feed myself, picking up grain by grain. I clothe myself, knitting threads one by one. How could I dare be choosy with my patrons?" "Though you may not be choosy with your patrons, elder," said another girl, laughing, "you are not afraid to put the blame on people after walking in the door. Don't despise the coarse and the unseasoned. Eat a little, please." "Indeed, I dare not," replied the elder, "for I fear I may break the commandment. To nourish a life is not as good as delivering a life, Lady Bodhisattvas. Please let me go." The elder tried to struggle out of the door, but the girls barred the way, refusing, of course, to let him go. "A business right at our door," they cried. "And you expect us not to do it? You want to cover up a fart with your hand? Where do you think you are going?" All of them, you see, knew a little martial art, and they were also quite dexterous with their hands and feet. Grabbing the elder, they yanked him forward like a sheep and flung him to the ground. He was pinned down by all of them, trussed up with ropes, and pulled over a crossbeam to be hung up high. The way in which he was hung, in fact, had a name to it. It was called Immortal Pointing the Way. One of his arms, you see, was stretched forward and suspended by a rope. The other arm was tied up alongside the body, and the rope was then used to hang up the midsection. His two legs were bound together and hung up by a third rope. The elder thus dangled face down from the crossbeam, held by 3 ropes. Racked by pain, his eyes brimming with tears, the elder thought morosely to himself, "How bitter is the fate of this priest! I thought that I could beg a meal from a good family, but I landed in a fiery pit instead. Oh disciples, come quickly to save me, and we'll be able still to see each other again. 2 more hours, and my life will be finished." Though the elder was sorely distressed, he nonetheless was also observing the girls carefully. After they had tied and hung him up properly, they began to take off their clothes. Greatly alarmed, the elder thought to himself, "They are disrobing because they want to beat me, or they may want to devour me." But the girls were only taking off their upper garments. After they had their bellies exposed, they began to exercise their magic power. Out from their navels poured coils of thread, with the thickness of a duck egg. Like bursting jade and flying silver, the threads had the entire village gate covered up in a moment. We tell you now instead about Pilgrim, 8 Rules, and Sha Monk, all waiting by the wayside. 2 of them were watching the luggage and grazing the horse, but Pilgrim, always the mischievous one, was leaping from branch to branch as he picked the leaves and searched for fruits. He chanced to turn his head toward the direction his master had gone, and saw all at once a mass of light. So alarmed was he that he leapt down from the tree, shouting, "It's bad! It's bad! Master's luck is turning rotten." Then he pointed with his fingers and said to his companions, "Look what happened to that village." 8 Rules and Sha Monk stared at the place and saw the mass of light bright as snow and shiny as silver. "Finished! Finished!" cried 8 Rules. "Master must have run into monster spirits. Let's go rescue him, quickly." "Don't shout, worthy brother," said Pilgrim, "for you haven't seen the truth of the matter. Let old monkey go up there." "Be careful, elder brother," said Sha Monk, and Pilgrim replied, "I know what to do, dear great sage. Tightening up his tiger skin skirt and whipping out his golden hooped rod, he bounded up there in 2 or 3 leaps. There he discovered a dense mass of cords that had to be 1,000 layers thick, weaving up and down in a web-like pattern. He touched the cords with his hand, and they felt soft and sticky. Not knowing quite what it was, Pilgrim lifted his iron rod and said to himself, "One blow of my rod can surely snap 10,000 layers of this thing, let alone 1,000 layers." He was about to strike when he stopped and thought to himself some more. "I can snap something hard, but this is quite soft. All I can do, probably, is to flatten it a little. But if I disturb whatever it is, it may have old monkey all tangled up, and that won't be good. Let me ask a few questions first before I strike." Whom would he question, you ask? He made the magic sign, you see, and recited a spell, which had the immediate effect of causing an old local spirit to walk round and round in his shrine as if he were turning a millstone. His wife said to him, "Oldie, why are you spinning round and round? Is your epilepsy acting up? You wouldn't know about this. You wouldn't know about this," cried the local spirit. "There's here a great sage, equal to heaven. I haven't gone to meet him, and now he's summoning me. Go and see him then," said his wife. "What are you spinning around here for?" "If I go see him," replied the local spirit, "I'll have to see his heavy rod also. Without regard for good or ill, he'll strike at me." His wife said, "When he sees how old you are, he won't strike you." The local spirit said, "All his life. He loves to drink wine free. And beat old folks specially." The two of them thus chatted for a while, but he could find no other alternative than to walk out of the shrine. Trembling all over, he went to his knees by the road and called out, "Great sage, the local spirit of this region kowtows to you." "Get up," said Pilgrim, "and don't look so harried without a reason. I'm not going to beat you. I'll just leave it standing on your account. Let me ask you, what is this place? Where did the great sage come from?" asked the local spirit. "We were going to the west from the land of the east," replied Pilgrim. The local spirit said, "Did the great sage pass through a mountain ridge?" "We are still up there," said Pilgrim. "Can't you see our horse and luggage over there?" "That," said the local spirit, "is the Cobweb Ridge, beneath which is a cobweb cave. There are 7 monster spirits inside the cave." "Are they male or female fiends?" asked Pilgrim, and the local spirit said, "Female." "What sort of magic powers do they possess?" asked Pilgrim again. The local spirit said, "This humble deity has little strength or authority, and he can't determine what sort of abilities they may have. I only know that 3 miles due south of here, there's a purgation spring, which is a natural hot spring. Originally, it was the bathing place for the 7 immortal dames of the region above. Since the monster spirits arrived, they took over the purgation spring, and the immortal dames did not even bother to contend with them. They simply let the monster spirits have the place. If, then, even, heaven's gods did not pick with these fiends a fight. Such spirits had to have great magic might. Why did the monster spirits want the spring?" asked Pilgrim. The local spirit said, "After these fiends took it over, they bathed in it 3 times a day. They did once already today during the hour of the serpent, and they would come back again by noon." On hearing this, Pilgrim said, "Local spirit, you may go back. Let me catch them by myself." After kowtowing one more time, the local spirit, still trembling, went back to his own shrine. Our great sage, all alone, now exercised his magic power. With a shake of his body, he changed into a tiny fly, alighted on a blade of grass by the road, and waited. In a moment, all he heard was loud breathing noises. Like silkworms devouring leaves. Like tide rising from the sea. In approximately the time it took to drink half a glass of tea, all the threads disappeared and the village came into sight once more as before. Then he heard the wooden gates open with a creak, and loud, laughing chatter brought out 7 young women. As Pilgrim stared at them secretly, he saw that all of them walked side by side and hand in hand. Laughing and joking, they proceeded to cross the bridge. Some beauties indeed. They appeared to be jade-like but far more fragrant. Flower-like, but their words were real. Willow brows arched like distant hills. Scented mouths framed by cherry lips. Kingfisher plumes rose on hairpins. Small feet gleamed beneath crimson skirts. They seemed like China coasting to the world below, and immortals going down to earth. No wonder my master wanted to beg a meal at this place, chuckled Pilgrim to himself. So there are such lovely creatures around here. If my master is kept by these 7 beauties, he won't even make one meal for them, nor will he be able to last for 2 days if they use him. If they take turns to handle him, he'll die on the spot. Let me eavesdrop on them and see what they plan to do. Dear great sage. With a buzz, he flew off and alighted on one of the hair buns. After they crossed the bridge, one of the girls walking behind called out to those up front. Elder sisters, after we take our bath, let's go back and have that fat monk steamed for food. This fiendish creature, chuckled Pilgrim to himself, is so headless. Boiling will save them some firewood. Why does she want him steamed? Picking flowers and fencing with blades of grass as they headed south, those girls soon arrived at the bathing pool, which was enclosed by a magnificent wall. Wildflowers lushly fragrant covered the ground.